Hello, guys. How is everyone? I hope everyone's doing okay. So, I thought I'd just come on and make this little quick video. So, I was browsing through YouTube and I saw this video, which was this woman kind of like giving a response to a TikTok where a man was talking about the prices of daycare, that it's like $2,400 if you want to put your kids in daycare and it's so expensive. And she was saying basically, yes, it's true. Like, ladies, you should be a stay at home mom, be a homemaker, because it doesn't make any sense that you're basically having kids and then you're going out to work to make money for someone else to take care of those kids when you could just skip the middleman, pretty much don't work, and take care of them for yourself so you don't have to bother with finding a job and wasting gas. Now that makes sense when you put it like that, but unfortunately, that's not reality. Okay? Like that's not what really happens. And then this lady goes on to say that she has like a bunch of kids with her husband and he never pulls out. Okay. Right? And even though they're struggling financially, like they make it work. So it's okay. God will provide. Just mindlessly make babies, be a homemaker, don't let him pull out, and then just become like a baby making machine and have like 10 kids. I think this lady said she had like 6 kids. Now, there's a lot of danger in that, and I'll explain why, but that's online, right? People can say, okay, guys like this, you can be a homemaker. It's only like the scare tactics or on TikTok, and that's not real life. Real men out there, they'll take care of you. Listen to that lady, just make a bunch of babies, and everything will be all hunky dory and fine. Okay, so that's an online example. I'm gonna give you a real life conversation that I had with this coworker. I'm always like going back and forth with him because it's really interesting to me to understand the psychology of these men out here. So I asked him, and the funny thing about this is a sidebar. Isn't it so weird how the most misogynistic men who like talk about modern women and how they hate them and single mothers, like those men, you ever notice that they always want to get married? Like if you hate women and you think they're like bad and like scammers and only out here for money, then why is your goal to marry? Well, why are these men always wanting to get married? It's so weird to me and it just doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so and I want you guys to do this experiment as well in real life. Like if you know a single XY out there who you're cool with or whatever, just go up to him and ask him. Even a family member, right? Just go up and ask him these questions. Number one, do you want to get married? If he says yes, then you're going to ask him, do you want a prenup? They're probably going to say yes, right? For that. So, and the next question after that would be, will your prenup be something that basically says what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours? Like there's going to be like no community marriage property that y'all got to split 50-50. Like if your name is on the house, you bought it, that's your house. All the money you brought in, you work, your paycheck, that's yours. Whatever little stuff the wife did or brought in, that's her stuff. Do you want your prenup to kind of be like that? And he was like, yeah, of course, of course, of course. Okay. Next question. This is question number 4. Do you want your wife to work? Now, this is where it gets real interesting. Okay? This is where it gets real interesting because you'll find the men that are super anti quote unquote gold digger, right? They hate it when a woman is expecting to live the life of leisure, staying home, taking care of the children, scrubbing, cleaning toilets, cooking, and busting it open at night on demand, right? The leisure life. Who hate when women just want to not do anything, just get money from the man and do nothing. Oh, and it's a modern society and we need a two people household. Like those men, they usually, for some, I swear it's so interesting, but they usually say, no, I don't want her to work. Okay. Mind you, this is a conversation I had with my coworker, right? And he said, no, I'll take care of her. I don't want her to work. No, 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 it's fine. She's good. She don't know. Ideally, no, I don't want her to work. Now, at this point, there's no more questions. You can feel free to curse them out at this point, which is what I did. Um, you just curse them out at that point and laugh in their face because it's the most ridiculous thing ever. So let me get this straight. You want your wife to have her property, your property, but you don't want her to bring any property into the marriage, right? Because you don't want her to work. Therefore, she has no job. Okay, she has nothing to bring in. There will be nothing on her name. Any car you get is gonna have to be on your name because you're the one making the payments because she has no money, right? And when you leave the marriage or if you get a divorce, because according to what you want your prenup, what does she get? What does she get? Nothing. Like the fact that they think this is okay. And I was trying to explain this to my coworker. I was like, so you mean to tell me you just want her to be a homemaker, stay home, and when, let's say, 20 years down the line, y'all get divorced for whatever reason, you tell her, hey, it's been fun, it's been real. Thanks for raising the kids. Those meals were really great they used to make. Like, we had some good times. It was awesome. Now you go on your way now, okay? And you just open the door and you just let her walk out into the street. She has no retirement fund. She has no savings, no 401k, no job experience. Like what is she going to do? Like she has no money. She has nothing. And I even tried to and he was just looking at me like he was didn't know what I was talking about, like I was talking crazy. And I'm like, okay, think about it. You meet a girl. Let's say she is in school, like law school, trying to get a degree to become a lawyer. Or better yet, she's in medical school, right? They make a lot of money, right? She's in medical school, and then you marry her. She gets pregnant, and then you're like, you know what? Quit school. I'll take care of it. I just got a promotion on my job. So she gives up her career, okay? She's giving up her career, and you want her to stay at home. 15, 20 years down the line, y'all are done and over with. What does she have to show for it? What is she going to eat if you want this prenup where you don't want to split everything in the marriage? Like, how does that work for you? I was like, so you mean to tell me she gave up 100% of her earning potential, 100% of her career to be a stay at home wife, to do free labor, and you find it hard to be asked to give 50% of what y'all worked on while y'all were together? Like, that's too much? And he was like, what about 25%? I was like, really? You know how much money she gave up by choosing to trust you? And that's what you think she should get? She's now in poverty. Like, you can't catch back up. That gap that she took, that's almost impossible to catch back up to make anything for. And she's already, let's say she's 50 at that time when y'all get a divorce. Like what is she supposed to do? Retirement is in 15 years. She can't make that up. Anyway, he didn't get it, but most men won't, because why? Women aren't actually people. They're like kind of like a cardboard copy. Like there's no depth, there's nothing going on behind the eyes. You know how misogynists are. Like we're not actually human to them, right? We can't reason. We don't have the ability to logic because we don't have thoughts. We're kind of like a dog or something where they think we don't have any higher brain functioning. So that's those two scenarios. This is why choosing to be a stay at home mother is the wrong move. There is only one scenario where this is something that you should be able to do if you want. Like only one under one circumstances are you to decide, yes, I'm going to decide to give up my career, make no money, and solely depend on this man to eat. There's only one scenario where that's okay for you to do. But all other scenarios, absolutely not. Absolutely not. First of all, choosing to mindlessly make babies year after year, right? No end in sight, and be a stay at home mom, that's extremely short sighted. Okay? Because what you're doing is you are depending on the goodwill of a man to, one, always love you, two, find you attractive enough to feed you and your children. You have to trust a man. And I'm talking about, and let's think about this like using actual real statistics, right? Y'all ever saw that study that OkCupid did when they were like running these little secret experiments on the people that used to use their website or whatever, the app that they had? I think it was a website where they looked at the ages of women and the age of the partners that they find attractive. This is all like in heterosexual relationships, right? The woman, it's pretty much like 1 to 2 years older or younger. So as they get older, the guy they like, let's say they're 40, he's going to be like maybe 38, 40, like in that range. So as they get older, they want their partners to be older. On men, on the other hand, from ages 18 to dead, right, to 100, the most women that they want to date that they find attractive was like 20-year-olds, all down the line. So they never actually like grow up or mature when it comes to their attraction level. It kind of stays juvenile their entire life. So knowing that information in the back of your head, you're trusting that as you get older and you age out of his ideal, that he's going to still want to take care of you to the level that he was when you were ideal and starry-eyed and thinking he was going to take care of you and treat you well. Like you're trusting him to do that. Like when you're 50, that this is what he's going to do. Like he's not going to start spending his money on a 20-year-old. Like you're trusting him. Okay. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. But honestly, if people make decisions like this, they're just bad at math. Because statistically speaking, like knowing that even if he stays married to you, he's not going to be attracted to you anymore. So you're probably going to have to beg a little bit more if you want that cheeseburger for dinner that week, right? Because he's like, nah, you can just feed the kids cereal or oatmeal. Nah, I actually don't have the money, right? If you don't want that kind of ring around as you get older, then that's the bad choice. You can't do that. But let's say you trust your man. You say, hey, my husband, he'll never leave me. He's not going nowhere, right? Okay. Okay, so you think that you're above the 50% of people that get divorced. So even if you like stay divorced, you believe you're still going to get good treatment. So you're now in like the very minute percentages of what's really going on out there, right? Okay, fine. Your husband's never going to leave you. Okay. So then what if he gets sick? What if he comes down with MS or some other horrible disease that has no cure, where now he's going to be an extra child on top of all the babies you were making for 10 years straight? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What if you get sick? You know the stats, right? That men are 6 times more likely to leave their wife when she has cancer or an illness like that than women are to leave their husbands. Like we say, okay? They don't. They're gonna divorce you 6 times as much? Nah. No, it's just not gonna happen, right? But let's say you think you're in the 1%. Let's say, okay, he doesn't get sick. What if he gets laid off? What if he gets into an on-the-job injury? Or he gets into a car accident? Or he just drops dead because he's been eating junk food and not listening to you, and now his arteries are clogged, and there you go. He died. Stroke, heart attack, whatever. What are you going to do? Now you are, what, 20 years out the job market? You have no savings? Because people who have a bunch of kids are usually living paycheck to paycheck. Like let's really be frank about it, right? You have no 401k, you have no retirement, your kids are hungry now. You're instantly, like that, transformed into poverty. And you're not crawling your way back out of it. Because even if now you have to go to work, because you decided that you were going to be your own daycare nanny for yourself, you decided to make a whole bunch of children. So you have to go to work now. And you're either going to have to do a couple of things. You're going to have to parentify your oldest children, which is horrific, and shame on you if you do that, because that's messed up. You're going to make the female ones take care of all the younger ones, right? That's what usually happens. Let's be honest, right? You're going to have to parentify your kids and have them take care of the youngest ones while you go out to work. You're going to have latchkey kids who are coming in and out because nobody is there after school, opening the door, neighbors clocking them, learning your kids' schedule, seeing, oh wow, they turn wow, it's like that 10-year-old. Where's the mom? Oh, I see the mom, no car in the driveway. Oh, she comes in at 8. Wow, that's interesting. So the kid is just there by themselves all day. Interesting, right? You're gonna open your children up to that level of vulnerability, right? And you're not going to have the money because now you have, even if you have half of the older kids, like they still got to go to school. So the younger ones are going to have to be in daycare. And if one kid was 24, what do you think 4 kids will be? Or 3? You don't have any job experience. What are you going to do? You never even finished college. Like, what are you going to do? It's a bad choice to make. It's a bad bet. That's what it is. It's a bad bet. That is like a crazy thing to wager your well being on. Like, I can't see any scenario where this makes sense. Like, I'm not talking about the exceptions, I'm talking about the rule, how it is for most. Like, think about the statistics. Like, men after divorce, they usually maintain their finances, or sometimes it even continues on an upward trajectory. But women after divorce are like 3 times more likely to become poor, to go below the poverty line. It just is what it is because they fall into this nonsense, and it always happens. It always turns out like this. That's just reality. The only scenario where this would be something feasible and like something that actually makes sense is if your husband is going to pay you to stay at home. Like, let's say he has his own company, he puts you on the payroll as like personal assistant or whatever he does to make you a little employee. Let's say you come by once in a while, or you help organize whatever parties that the office has, whatever. He puts you on the payroll and you get a salary that goes to you. You get a direct deposit. You're paying taxes out of that. In that, and that does happen, right? I've heard of that happening, and fine, it works out for them. But usually, what happens is when he divorces her, he fires her, right? She gets fired. That's how that ends. But at least you can still write a resume and say, and kind of dandy do it up and say, hey, yeah, no, I was like I did office management. I was like an executive assistant. You can just write it up and fluff it up. And when they say, oh, when was your last employment? Oh, wow, you were employed for 15 years? Wow, that's really great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I worked for this company. Then that could work. That could work. If he's not paying you, it's not going to work. If you don't have money, it's not going to work. So let's say he does not have his own company. He can't like sneak you in, put you on payroll, whatever. And Also, for any woman out there who is currently married to somebody who owns their own like little business and you're not on the payroll, get yourself on there immediately. Immediately with a quickness. Okay? Because this is how you're going to get scammed. Get yourself at least to have something to put on your resume. If he dies, he gets sick, and now you have to take care of everyone. You have to be able to do something, right? So let's say, okay, he doesn't own his own company. Great. Well, what do I do? Have him pay you. He needs to be giving you some kind of allowance. And if he complains like, oh no, why am I gonna pay you? Why am I gonna pay you? We have a joint account. Like you could go in there and take money. It lies. Lies. Okay, you spend anything over $2 and he's asking you what was this for and questioning you and wanting like the receipt and an essay, a 3-page essay on why exactly this was a necessary purchase. I've heard the horror stories. This is the norm. We're not talking about the exceptions. We're talking about the rule here. Okay, you plan for the worst. That's how you protect yourself. It's called risk management. Okay, you plan for the worst case scenario because it's better to be prepared for it and it not happen than it happen and you have no preparation. Which scenario is worse? So you plan for the worst. This is what you have to do. So have him give you money, maybe like $2,000 a month. Something kind of comparable to if you were doing like a little part-time job or something like that. Nothing less than $2,000 a month. And you need to be putting this away so you can start your own little side business or hustle. That's the only way it works, where you want to like sell a little something online, but you're getting income. You have to get an income. Do not be deceived. You have to get an income because you just don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to get a divorce. And if you think that's never going to happen, you don't think he will ever get sick or that you could get sick and you have no savings, you have no money, you have nothing to protect yourself. Money is protection. Money is security. Okay, money is what's going to make you be able to provide and protect yourself. Money. This is the reality of the world we live in. So let's say that you're like, okay, this is all well and good, but Cyrene, I'm screwed. Like, I've already made all the bad decisions that you've talked about here. He's not giving me any money. He's being financially abusive. What do I do? Here's what you do. Okay, you're already stuck and you have nothing to your name. Here's what you have to do. You have to find some way to open a secret bank account. And every time you go grocery shopping, you select cashback on that little prompt screen. Do you want cashback? How much cashback? $20, $40 every single time. You go grocery shopping a couple times a week, once a week, $40. He's not gonna notice, okay? Just do like the $20 cashback or whatever. That's what you gotta do. And that little money you gather and you go take it and you go stash it in a high yield savings account. And you don't touch it. Okay, American Express has a high yield savings account. It is free to open. I don't even think there's a minimum. And the percentage is, I think, 4.35% interest. Get all the little money and you just deposit it into that. You do little side jobs. Let's say you were good at math or good at reading or whatever, and or a parent is saying, hey, I don't have anybody to watch my kid or feed them dinner. One of your little kids' classmates, tell that parent, be like, oh yeah, no, I'll watch them until like you get home from work from 8. It's just like 3 hours, and you just make a little money on the side. He doesn't need to know that you're getting paid for this quote unquote play date your child is having. He doesn't get to know that. You don't have to tell him. Okay, somebody's having a little birthday party and you have a skill, you can make cakes, make cupcakes. Just say, oh yeah, I'm doing a little bake sale or I'm doing this as a volunteer, and he doesn't need to know that you're making money. You don't tell him, okay? He's not your pimp. You don't need to report all earnings and hand them over to him. At least I hope not. That's one thing you can do to at least try to start protecting yourself. Do a little online class, a little online job, something to put on your resume. There's like this little job on Amazon or whatever where you do little transcribing from like receipts and you just like type it out or something else. Like there's these little at-home jobs that you can do that you're doing it on your own time, just something to put on your resume to protect yourself. But ladies, this is the knowledge that I am sure people who have gotten out the bad side of this situation wish that somebody had said something, had told them. Well, here you go. I'm telling you now. It's a bad bet. It's a horrible wager. It's a loser's bet. Don't do it. Okay? Well, that's all I have for the video. I hope you liked it. And I will see y'all later. Bye.